In this video, you're going to see 20 surprising facts about Russia. Starting at the bottom, Russia has the longest railway in the world. It's the famous Trans-Siberian Railway. At 9,288 kilometers long, it's more than twice the length of the second longest, Toronto to Vancouver in Canada. The journey from Moscow to Vladivostok takes around 6 days. It travels through the Ural Mountains and a lot of forests. It also passes the record-breaking Lake Baikal, so get your cameras ready for that leg of the journey. Number 19. Russian women live 10 years longer than Russian men. Russian women can expect to live to 78, while the average life expectancy for a man in Russia is 68. However, this difference has slowly been closing over the past decade. Indeed, in 2009, Russian women were generally expected to live 12 years longer than their male counterparts. Number 18. The tallest statue of a woman. The Motherland Calls is 85 meters high and looms on the hill of Mamayev Kurgan in Volgograd. With a facial expression to strike terror into the enemy, and an absolutely enormous sword, she is an immense presence in the city. The statue was completed in 1967, and was the tallest statue in the world at the time of its completion. Number 17. Russian prefer tea. Russia ranks 5th in the world for the amount of tea consumed per person. The drink first reached Russia in the 17th century, but it cost 10 times more than in Europe as it took a year to deliver it from Moscow to Berlin. Nowadays, tea is far more accessible, and if you visit friends in Russia, they'll usually serve you tea accompanied by biscuits. Number 16. Squirrel-related items collection. A Russian has the world's largest collection of squirrel-related items. In 2013, Pavel Gerasimov's squirrel-related collection numbered 1,103 items. It has likely increased since the last count. The Moscow native has many shapes and sizes of squirrel figurines, including a golden one and another from the 1800s. He shares his name with an Olympic pole vaulter. Number 15. Russians don't drink that much alcohol. According to World Health Organization statistics, despite Russia's association with vodka, other countries drink far more. Moreover, recent data suggest that Russians drink less than they used to. Indeed, the country now ranks 33rd in the world for liters of alcohol consumed per person. It is less than many of its European neighbors, such as Germany, France, and the UK. Number 14. Russia has the most polluted spot on Earth. Lake Karachay in the southern Ural Mountains is one of the most polluted places in the world. Apparently, radioactive waste was dumped here in the 1950s, including weapons and pollution from the nearby Mayak nuclear plant. If you've scheduled a visit, don't. The radiation emitted by the lake could kill you within an hour. Number 13. Beard tax. If you wanted to grow a beard in the early 18th century in Russia, well, you had to pay. No unruly facial hair unless you paid up your kopecks, or several hundred rubles for nobles. Peter the Great got this idea from his travels in Europe. He was so fond of the fashion there that he decided to Europeanize Russia's aesthetic. Unfortunately, his reinvention did not go down well with the Orthodox Church, which saw facial hair as a sign of piety. Number 12. Russia is a big producer of fossil fuels. If you live in the EU, you've probably used electricity from a Russian pipeline at some point. In fact, Russia provides 27% of the EU's crude oil imports, 41% of its natural gas, and 47% of its solid fuel, such as coal. Indeed, as the world's third-largest oil producer, Russia has yet to make renewable energy an absolute priority. Number 11. Stalin is more popular in Russia than the human cost. According to the Moscow Times, about 70% of Russians approve of former Soviet leader Joseph Stalin's role in Russian history. In recent years, this has gone up, and many factors might have caused it. For example, some see Stalin as a mythological figure, while others say that the current Russian government glorifies the country's Soviet past while ignoring the human cost. Number 10. Russia is home to the only Buddhist region in Europe. The Republic of Kalmykia in southwest Russia is home to the Kalmyk people, a former nomadic group who moved to the region from Asia. Stalin ordered their deportation to Siberia, but they were permitted to return after his death. Since the 1990s, the Republic has boasted magnificent temples, religious shrines, and Buddhist ceremonies. Number 9. Most Russians live in Europe. The Ural mountain range divides European Russia in the west from Asian Russia in the east. However, despite the latter making up 77% of Russia's total landmass, less than a quarter of the Russian population lives there. Reasons for this include historical, geopolitical, meteorological, and cultural. Number 8. There are a lot of languages in Russia. Of course, the most popular one is Russian. However, according to the Ministry of Science and Higher Education, the Russian population speaks at least 270 languages and dialects. Whether or not that figure is accurate, there are undoubtedly many languages spoken in Russia. These include major foreign languages such as German, English, and languages that are native to Russia, such as Tatar, Chuvash, Karelian, and Chechen. There are also several endangered languages, such as Vodic and Godabari. Number 7. About 70 cats live in the Hermitage Museum. Legend has it that the cats were invited by Empress Elizabeth way back in 1745. While the cats are taken care of by workers at the museum, there is now a website for potential feline parents to adopt a Hermitage cat. Number 6. St. Petersburg has a great underground scene. If you live in one of Russia's two biggest cities, St. Petersburg and Moscow, you'll almost certainly use the metro. However, these metro systems are built way underground, so get ready to spend a lot of time on escalators. Petersburg has 4 of the highest escalators in the world, rising 68.6 meters, 225.07 feet. It takes about 2.5 minutes to go from top to bottom, or vice versa. Number 5. Russia has a lot of trees. 1/5 of the world's trees are in Russia. That's 643 billion trees, the most that any country has. About 45% of the country is covered by trees, much of it in Russia's boreal forest, or taiga. These thick forest regions were once completely under glaciers, and are now home to a whole load of brave species, including the Siberian tiger, wild boars, eagles, and owls. Number 4. Freshwater. In Siberia, you'll find Lake Baikal. Not only is the lake the deepest lake in the world, but it also holds around 20% of the world's freshwater. Being in this chilly part of Russia, the lake regularly freezes during the winter, which means it's even possible to drive across it. However, be sure you have the correct permits and go with an experienced guide. Number 3. Red Square has nothing to do with communism. That's right, the famous Moscow Square is actually named for its looks rather than any political persuasions. The Russian language is heavily influenced by Old Church Slavonic, which was Moscow's official literary language until the late 1600s. Number 2. Russia switched calendars in 1918. Most European countries gave up the Julian calendar in the late 16th century. However, it wasn't until February 1918 that Russia finally switched to the Gregorian calendar, which it uses nowadays to celebrate its many festivals and celebrations. Apparently, using the Julian calendar led to the Russian Empire being 12 days too late for the 1908 Olympic Games in London. Number 1. The US and Russia are just 4 kilometers apart. Despite spending much of the 20th century ideologically opposed, Russia and the United States are separated by just 4 kilometers of water. Indeed, in the middle of the Bering Strait are 2 islands, Little Diomede and Big Diomede. Little Diomede belongs to the US, while Big Diomede belongs to Russia. The islands straddle the international date line, which means Big Diomede is almost a day ahead. Surprisingly, let's end the video with the bonus fact about Russia. Russia is big. Russia is, quite frankly, enormous. Not only does it span 2 continents, Europe and Asia, it also has a surface area of 17.13 million square kilometers. That makes it even bigger than the famous exoplanet Pluto. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.